Bishop-elect of Leeds for the Diocese of West Yorkshire and the Dales. The time is now 8 minutes to 8.
The Plebgate scandal runs on. 18 months of argument and controversy. It started, of course, with Andrew Mitchell on the defensive. Now he's on the warpath, determined to show the police conspired against him for political purposes. In the latest round, Andrew Mitchell has written to the Metropolitan Police Commissioner asking for the transcripts of disciplinary proceedings against certain police officers to be published. Mr. Mitchell was at some of those proceedings. He took notes and he thinks the evidence there backs up his case. And his letter reveals interesting revelations from those cases, that one policewoman texted a friend to boast, "I can topple the government." Another said, apparently, "The Fed need our help," referring presumably to the Police Federation in whatever campaign they were having against the government. Well, also at some of those proceedings was Andrew Mitchell's friend, the MP David Davis. He is with us now. Good morning.
Good morning
to you. This does go on, doesn't it?
It's actually 22 months, not 18.
I'm sorry, I was
and it feels like about 20 years. To be honest.
The timing of the fact that Andrew Mitchell's letter coincides with the Police Federation conference. Is that just to embarrass them? There's no reason why it had to be given out to the press today.
The timing is related to something else. We tried to get the police to DAC Gallant, the policewoman in charge of the overall investigation, to give us an undertaking that all this would be released at the end of the various hearings. They end this Friday, or they either end tomorrow or this Friday. And frankly, we don't want to suddenly find ourselves with a sort of nice anodyne transcript and no way of raising this matter. So we wanted to raise them out before they published.
But the reason they're not talking about whether to publish them or not is that the things aren't actually over. I mean, they're about to be over, but they're not over.
Well, that's the problem. You see, we thought it was that's what we thought at the beginning. We thought, this is just a question of, preserving the rights of the individuals quite properly, and we've tried to do that. But we got no undertaking. We asked, would you please put all this in the public domain so the public can make their own judgment at the end of it? Because we have been really facing some pretty sizable misjudgments by the authorities along the way. I mean, the Crown Prosecution Service claimed that the video evidence had been tampered with. They had to back off when Channel 4's lawyers talked to them. We had the police saying, no police officer lied. Well, now a number have lost their jobs and one's gone to prison because they did lie. All sorts of misinformation has come out. We want to see the hard facts, only the hard facts really, out in the public domain so the public can make their own judgment.
One interpretation of what Andrew Mitchell is doing, you and Andrew, your friends, is using attack as a form of defence. Because in the libel cases that are occurring, let's not go into complicated background. The libel cases that are occurring. Evidence has been offered that suggests there have been several other incidents involving Andrew Mitchell. And actually, the police officer at the centre of it all has not been disciplined, has not been found to have lied. Yeah. And there's another police officer who was there, who heard it all, and no one has come up with anything against him. And he says, Ian Richardson.
No, he didn't hear it at all. He walked away from it in his original comments to the Times. He didn't. But look, I can't comment obviously on the libel case because they're both live. But no, one of the problems we face time and time again are assertions made in the press saying, the video evidence shows that Andrew was wrong. Not true. That this or that person says that he supports so-and-so's case. Not true. Over and over again, we find these complete untruths put in the public domain, and because they come from authorities like the police and others, and indeed even the cabinet secretary at one point, and the people believe them. We want the hard data, the transcripts, the phone records, the texts, all put in the public domain. Let the public make their own judgment, and that includes any allegations against Andrew. Everything should be in the public domain.
I mean, Ian Richardson was on the scene, but not right there.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah, exactly.
He says he says Mr. Mitchell was officious and rude, although he doesn't think he deserved to lose his position. Now that seems to be a view quite widely held by people who
Andrew, remember, said he swore. He shouldn't have sworn.
Exactly.
He shouldn't have sworn, and he apologised for it. But it's not been about that. It's been about these toxic words and focus on. And this is why.
But you see,
well, let me finish. This is Evan. This is all about, or a large part of it is about, whether this was a politically motivated exercise, as some of these texts show, whether there was collusion, whether it was to a purpose, whether they jumped on a campaign, as it were, after the event. All of this has got barely anything to do with the original exchange.
But does the fact that some police lied or exaggerated the evidence, does that mean all the police involved lied?
Well, I can't answer that because that's right to the core. civil case going on, and as you know, I can't get into that. But what I can say to you is I'm happy to stand by what the public judge from the information. Why take my interpretation? Why take the police's interpretation? Why take the Crown Prosecution Service interpretation? When the evidence is there, it can be put in the public domain. That's the best way. And to coin somebody else's phrase or to copy somebody else's phrase, the best disinfectant for this is sunlight.
David Davis, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Will there be sun? What an obvious.